Welcome back, guys, to Let's Talk About It. We are your lovely hosts, Gile
Otire
and Kuta. This podcast is basically three girls talking through life, thoughts, faith, memories, and all the weird ideas we think about at 2 a.m. Think of it as a group chat, but with microphones. Ora, how are you today?
I am doing alright. How are you guys? How are you doing?
Me, I'm doing great. It's rainy. I'm just so happy. Look, I did my nails today. They look really nice.
Period.
But it's rainy. It's like a very nice, cozy weather. Yeah, it's really good. Kutalicious, how are you doing today?
I am well. I am super excited and glad for this episode because it's going to be absolutely fabulous. Alright, so it's time for our first segment. Am I the a-hole? Today's story is a bit messy, so let's get into it. So, this is how the story goes. I used to be really good friends with this guy. Okay, guys, lock in. This is you now. Okay, picture yourself becoming this character because it's about to get sweaty. Okay, so here's the story. I used to be really good friends with this guy. We'll call him Jake. Wink, wink. We were friends for over a decade, basically since the beginning of high school. But over the years, we drifted apart because we were honestly just in different stages of life now. Okay? And to be completely honest, I've also started to dislike him a little over the years. He has pretty bad anger issues. And sometimes he comes across as really narcissistic. We can think about someone like that. However, here's the complicated part. I'm actually still really good friends with his younger brother, okay? Who we will call Fergie, okay? Now, Fergie has been through a lot, okay? He struggled with homelessness, drug issues, and debt. That's why I said it's about to get serious. But despite all of that, we actually get along really well. Despite what, girl? Because of that friendship. I sometimes end up interacting with Jake just to keep him updated about Fergie. Especially when Jake gets worried about him. But we barely speak anymore, maybe once every 2 weeks. And even then, I almost never initiate the contact. So one night, Fergie apparently shows up at Jake's house, high or drunk, claiming that his phone had been stolen. Then he runs out of the house after thinking he spotted the people who stole it. And in the process, he sets off the fire alarm. Okay? Now, Jake messages me to tell me all about this. And somewhere in that conversation, he told me that if Fergie gets a new phone and contacts me, I should let him know. Now, at the time, I had a lot going on in my own life, and work was pretty hectic. So, honestly, I forgot. A couple of days later, Fergie messages me. We hang out. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. He seems fine. He's just staying somewhere else. Then a few days later after that, Jake messages me again and finds out that I have been in contact with Fergie. And he was furious. He starts raging at me, saying that the police had been looking for Fergie because he had been reported missing and they had even done a welfare check, which I had no idea about, and apparently neither did Fergie. Jake then starts verbally abusing me and calls me, a rat for not contacting him. So I told him that I understand he's stressed, and worried about his brother, but he still needs to show some respect. I also told him that I assumed Fergie had already contacted him when he got his new phone, because Fergie seemed completely fine. They're brothers, so it seemed reasonable to assume that he would contact his family before his friends, right? I explained that I didn't contact him because I had things going on in my own life. I didn't know he had been reported missing, and Jake and I barely talk anymore, so he's not really my main point of contact. I simply forgot. Jake then told me I should have been more aware of the world around me, blocked me, then unblocked me just to make more jabs at me. So I blocked him everywhere and honestly don't plan on speaking to him again. I'm just tired of him taking his stress out on me, which he's done before. He also told me that he also told me that by not contacting him, it was my fault. Emergency services wasted their resources. So, am I the a-hole here? What do you guys think? Oratile, what do you think?
First of all, this Jake character is a psychopath. Like, can we establish that first? He is a psychopath. Like, the audacity the man has. You block me. You you block me. Okay, fine. The question shouldn't be am I the a-hole? The question should be is he the a-hole? And the answer is yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, he is. Because what? Where? Where do we find the guts? Where do we find this audacity? Like, hello? Excuse me? No, just absolutely no. I don't even know what to say because I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
But I feel like it's also such a complicated situation because it's like obviously he overreacted. Yes, I will agree, but he overreacted because he was scared. Like for someone to get to a stage where they file a missing persons report, it's like he's really gone like far and wide to find Fergie. So I mean, I 100% feel like he shouldn't have like obviously released all these frustration on her, but at the same time, I kind of get it because it's like I would have also been really worried if like we've been looking for this person, we've been calling them, and you just feel like, oh, I forgot. It's like no, but I like because in his head it's like I've been looking for him. How could you forget? How can you be so irresponsible? How can you be? You know what I mean? Like I just feel like the words he said to her in the time during the anger, I can understand it's like out of frustration, but like going out of your way to like even after the fact that she apologized and whatnot, for him to keep coming and saying like, no, you are a this and you are a that. I feel like that was really not. Yeah, it was unnecessary. And I don't think she's an a-hole for blocking him. I feel like if someone is making you uncomfortable or yeah, do what you gotta do. Do your thing, man. Kuzo?
I think there's too much happening all at once to actually like make a decision on just her being the a-hole, because there is already a very toxic relationship amongst all three of them, even with their in their lack of communication. It kind of shows the relationship they have. Already Jake has a very reactive personality to a situation because of his brother. And I think it's because, I mean, if you have a brother that's busy with so many things, anything could go wrong with them like that. So Jake's frustration makes sense when you're looking at his relationship dynamic with his brother. Though it doesn't explain necessarily the relationship he has with the girl. Right? Is it a girl?
Yeah, because he's friends.
Yeah. So like, I don't understand the relationship dynamic for him to have that. It felt like it was her responsibility to come back to him. So it sounds like they have a good enough relationship for him to rely that much on her to do what is right for their brother or for his brother. Like, I just don't understand. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. She is not the a-hole. I just personally feel like their relationship is already very toxic, and that's how they communicate. The fact that Jake blocked her and then she also blocked him, they have a blocking relationship going on here. That personally from
Guys,
outside.
can I say, I feel like why I say this Jake character is like a psychopath is because from the beginning, like in the beginning, she says that he had like anger issues, like pretty much big anger issues, and he's a narcissist. She said that in the beginning, and this is before the situation with Fergie. Also, what relationship does she and Fergie have? Can I ask that?
I think she mentions that they're good friends because she says that she and Fergie ended up having a relationship, like a friendship, because she and Jack also had a friendship. Then the friendship kind of sort of dissolved. So from there, then she kind of sort of developed this friendship with Fergie, and her and Jack's relationship became like solely them talking about Fergie. So
Oh, okay, then that answers
yeah.
my question.
Yeah.
Because I was curious for her to be, remember, the focus is her being the a-hole, right? So I wanted to understand, because she blocked Jake. So then I guess not. Then I guess she wasn't. Definitely.
Yeah, she's not.
She's not, because their relationship was only based on Fergie, and now Fergie, if he's out of the picture, then what else do they have in their relationship that doesn't involve him?
Um, Guys, I still feel like something is up with this Jake character. I feel like him individually as a person down to the core is not exactly like a really good person because I feel he's expecting so much from her as a friend. Like he's not communicating with her and he's calling her to like sort of help him or something, which I get because they're friends. But he's giving her like half information and when she's trying like when she sort of misses something, he like rages like badly. You know, he like unleashes his anger like very badly,
But
if that
but
makes
she
sense.
did mention like he's done it before. Like I think it's maybe I don't know. You know, we don't know like the full history, but I think he has a habit of, you know, blaming or like putting his anger on her. Putting his anger on her instead of taking accountability for when he's wrong. But anyways, so guys, we're still on our series called "What Is Love." I believe this is our fourth episode of this series. This series is all about love in all its forms: romantic love, friendship love, family love, confusing love. The kind of love that makes perfect sense and the kind that just has you sitting there at 2 a.m. overthinking everything. And today's topic, actually, I want to give it up to Uratile because it is a conversation we've had before. I think last year, December. This topic is actually this today's conversation, funnily enough, is actually what inspired us to start a podcast because Oratile started a topic saying that she learned a huge lesson last year, saying she's learned that in life you can love someone and not like them. And we ended up having this whole conversation, and it was just so beautiful. And then, you know, out of it, this podcast was inspired. So I really want to give such a huge shout out for this episode because I feel like it is the birth of our podcast comes from this topic. So today's topic is you can love them and not like them, because I think sometimes loving and liking someone is not the same thing, and sometimes we think that it's all or nothing, it's both and none. But you can love someone and not like them, and you can like someone. I'm not sure if you can like someone without loving them. We're gonna go into it.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible to like someone without loving them, and it's possible to love someone without liking them, vice versa. But we're gonna dive into
it because you might love someone because of factors like history, family, loyalty, even faith. But that doesn't necessarily mean you enjoy who they are as a person right now. And that can be a really confusing place to be emotionally. And as Oratile, like I said, she initiated this conversation last year. I'm so excited to hear like the different perspectives, and maybe things have changed. So Oratile, take it away for us. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you almost
shoot?
Did you almost say take it away from us?
Yeah. My mouth is doing all kinds of things.
She's excited. I hope you're as excited
I'm
as
so
Kay.
excited, guys, because this is such a powerful conversation.
Ratile, please start
Okay. Can I am very excited because I think Gila has mentioned this. I think this is like one of the topics where we were like, guys, we need to start a podcast. We need to share this. Everybody needs to hear all this that you guys are saying because it's such like deep things that we're talking about and mentioning. But I think to start, I don't know if anybody asked this question. I don't think you guys did. Do you think it's actually possible to love someone but not like them? I want to first like see where we're all standing. Like, how do we feel about this?
No, we didn't ask it. We just kind of sort of, like mentioned something like it. But if you don't mind, I'm gonna jump straight into it. I think that it is a very difficult concept to understand, that you can really love someone and just not like them, because I think that love is so vast, and like is preference. um and I can I don't even know how to explain it like as an example, but I'm just going to stick with yes. I think it's possible to love someone and just not like them. You can love them from a distance, but you don't want them in your inner circle, if I can put it like that.
Agreed. I feel like it's possible. You can love someone without liking them, and you can like someone without loving them. And I want to just lay low and just say it like that.
Ora,
what
tell us.
Because it looks like there's a verdict.
Yes. Actually, I kind of it was something that kind of lived in my mind for a very long time, because a lot of like love is sort of like obligated, especially growing up. You're sort of taught to love your family, love your friends, love basically everybody around you. So now you're moving from that to now you're older and you're trying to establish the relationship, because I think relationships do not rely only on love, so now you're like establishing that whole part of like relationships, and you're trying to understand, where do we stand, where does the relationship really stand? So that's when you realize that you love somebody but you don't necessarily like them. You want to sort of, what Gila said, love them from a distance, not necessarily be around them, if that makes sense. So second question, have you ever had someone in your life where you loved them deeply but their behavior made it feel hard to like them?
I can start with that one. I'm gonna start firstly with yes, and yes. And I think I would like to say firstly, that behavior is something that is a big throw off, especially when it comes to love, because many people associate love with actions. And so behavior is an action of some sort, you know. And if someone doesn't have appropriate behavior towards you, you can start questioning that love because you associate the behavior with love. And personally, I've been in a position where I question somebody's love for me because of their behavior towards me. And I questioned what did love also mean to them, because my love is I will treat you right. I love you. I'm going to treat you right. I love you. I'm going to take care of you. I love you. So, you know, it works with my actions more than my words. Though that person, for me, I didn't see that connection or them treating me with love. I feel it was more important to be treated with love than to be told that I was loved, if that makes sense. And I'm talking about family here. I'm not even talking about romantic relationship. I'm just talking about a family member, a friend. You always prefer to associate love with the action more than just the words. The words are special and it means a lot, but the action is also mainly important for me. So yeah.
I wanted to say, like, I feel like very strongly, like, this topic is very much here specifically. It feels very much adjacent to, you know, like your family and like friends that you've had for years. Because I think there comes a line where, you know, someone becomes part of the furniture and you're like, oh, you're going to be in my life forever. But then things happen and people change. And I think the love, the long-term built, established relationship of like, we've been through this and this and this and this, and they know me. But right now, the kind of person they are, the behavior that they have, it's really making it hard for me to like them. And I love them so much. I would literally give up my liver for them. But it's really hard to spend an hour around them because, you know, they're always negative or they're always judging or they always putting me under pressure to be someone, or maybe they're living a lifestyle I'm not really I agree with. And sometimes that can make it very hard to build the relationship of liking someone when you love them so much and you would do anything for them. So yeah, I think I've had times where I've had certain people in my life where yes, I love them so much and I'd do anything for them, but right now it's very uncomfortable to be around them and I don't like that. But yeah, what about you, Ura? Have you had difficult times where you loved someone but you just don't like certain behaviors or certain things?
Yes, I think a lot of people have dealt with this, I want to say, because um I think we have felt it but not have been able to name it, if that makes sense. You don't know what the name of it is. You don't know what it actually means, because you can see that I have like affection or attachment, because I feel affection lies more with the liking of somebody. But um but the thing is, yeah, you don't name it. You don't know it yet. You don't understand it to that point where you feel like, but no, but I have to like them, because in your head, a lot of ideas when you're young that are put, you when you're young, it's kind of like you're fed information, you know? So they tell you this is how it's supposed to be. This is how, when you grow up and you start feeling the gaps in a lot of the things, you start realizing, okay, but I don't like them like that, because I feel like your behavior, but also your opinions, your mindset. It kind of goes against my own stuff. And you realize, like, I don't like that. I don't like it. And you realize, okay, you don't like the person. So I would say yes, I've had moments like that where I'm like, not for me. But yeah. Another question I'd like to ask, do you think that it's okay to leave a relationship even though you love someone but don't like them?
I think that, you know, you shouldn't, like, okay, like, I feel like this is gonna be it's gonna be a yes and no answer, because I don't think people should leave relationships. I think you should change the terms and conditions of the relationship. If it's a friend, who's your confidant, you can go from being confidants to comrades. I think you can limit the time you spend with them, but I think oftentimes we are sometimes so harsh, and we sever certain relationships that have served us for years because in a season it is uncomfortable. I think sometimes it's also really good to remember that relationships, especially long-term relationships, go through many seasons. Right now we're close at a specific season. I'm far and we're not as close, or life gets in the way. And I think oftentimes people are so quick to just cut out someone because something feels uncomfortable right now. I think maybe have a chat with the person, like, especially if it's behavior related, to say, look, I'm not really comfortable with this. See if you guys can work it out, meet each other halfway. If that is not a option, if that's not a possibility, then I think that a little space is good. Distance makes the heart fonder. And I think that give each other a little space, maybe change the terms and conditions of your relationship, and wait the season out and see if something changes. But I don't think you should just leave something because you love them but you don't like them. I think there is merit for building that relationship. This is in family. I don't know with romantic how it works, but I think with family and especially long term friends, that is always the best solution for me.
I think for me, I think when it comes to family, you can definitely like remove yourself in a way that if you guys were very close, you can distance. Actually, that's a better word. Distance yourself from that loved one, because you can. You know what I mean? And I believe it happens where in family there is a family member you do not like, but because they're your family, you won't cut them out. You will distance yourself. You will make sure your interaction is it's shorter than usual. I feel like you should never cut family unless it's a dire situation where your life is at risk. And then I believe family can be cut. When it comes to romantic relationship, if you do not like someone and you have extremely valid reasons, then you should leave them. And I mean, there are people who have experienced all kinds of relationships out here, specifically romantic ones, and they left those relationships knowing they still love that person, but they left with good
Terms.
yeah, good terms. Like it made sense why they would leave that person even if they love them. And with friendship, I believe it. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, but I believe in friendship you can leave a relationship in friendship.
What?
When it's not healthy, when it's becoming toxic, if then what's the point of that relationship? There needs to be a point. I believe in friendship, there needs to be a point. And I believe also communication makes things better. To communicate, of course, with a friend before deciding to leave that relationship. I just believe you can, but you need to communicate. That's what I believe. You can, it's possible, and you should if it's unhealthy. But communication is key in a friendship. But when you're married and when you're in a romantic relationship, I'm not an expert, but I think if it's becoming very toxic and you still can work out.
Not if you're married.
Not if you're married, but I'm saying in a relationship. I'm saying in a relationship where you can walk out. There's people who are dating, getting to know each other. That's what dating is about, right? You're getting to know someone and you're realizing the person you're getting to know, you don't actually like that person. You still have to communicate what you do not like. If that's not going to change, for example, if you're dating someone and they don't want to have a family and you want to get married, let's say you're dating for marriage, they don't want to ever have a family. And the more time you spend with them, the more you realize how different you are. I believe you can leave, you know. But when you're married, things are a little bit more difficult. That's why I wouldn't say anything about that, because marriage is not my cup of tea. But Ratile, what would you say?
I think you guys brought like really good points to this. Because for me, this is such a, it's something that I feel I'm still trying to figure out. Like, where is the line between like you're totally disrespecting me and like we can totally work with this, you know? Because I think it comes with boundaries, you know? As a person, in every relationship you walk into, you bring what's it? You have your boundaries. So you have things that you're like, okay, you cannot cross me like this. You cannot do this. You can't do that. And yeah, it's something that you probably should talk about. Either way, if you're not talking about boundaries, you should. Um, so okay, but let me say on the basis of just like if you feel you don't like it's okay. For me, I'm gonna agree and say it's okay. I know it sounds a bit, but on the basis of just like, do I think it's okay to leave the relationship? I say yes. I think it's okay to leave. Why I say that is because often at times we can gaslight ourselves a lot. You can see it. One, you see it. Two, you feel it. Um, Maybe you have tried to talk about it, not once, like a lot of times, and then you can see like the repeated disrespect. You can see it keep going on. And the thing is with talking and conversations and like communication is that you talk to somebody, right? You can have conversations and be like, hey, um, I feel your behavior like this. Sometimes you think it's like just behavior, but it's sometimes just rooted into something deeper. It's not just behavior, it's just rooted in who they are. That's who they are. It's not even behavior as a whole, something they can um change or grow out of, you know? It's who they are. It's their mindset, it's other things like that makes a person, their values and stuff like that. It's literally who they are. So you're sitting there thinking, oh, but I can change them, or oh, if I talk about it and tell them I don't like it, they might just change it or make it different. But don't subject yourself to that. If you feel really disrespected and the energy is really not there, do not put yourself through that. It's not something that's necessary to prove that you're working hard, or people when people tell you like, oh, but why did you leave? You have to tell them, yeah, I did try really hard, or I had to do this, but guys, if you feel it's time to leave, it's time to leave. Do not subject yourself to that. I think that's my
I actually
conclusion.
wanted to say something with what you were saying. It's like it's like a question on that, or not a question, but a realization. Is do you feel like sometimes as human beings we try to like stick it out in relationships? Like I feel like sometimes I feel like with certain things in our lives there's a balanced relationship between discipline, and discipline is always sometimes doing something even when you don't feel like it. It's like when you go to the gym, it's like sometimes you don't like it, you're in pain, it sucks, but you know that it's good for you. But like with relationships, do you feel like that mindset sometimes can be toxic? Because say you're with someone, you've been with someone for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and in your head you don't like it, you're uncomfortable, it hurts, whatever, and you're thinking to yourself like the same mindset you would use in gym, like, no, stick it out, you're strong, you can make it. Like, I almost want to say, is there a point in relationships where discipline of sticking out with someone because of the years you have, even though it's starting to become toxic for you, actually is a toxic mindset?
Yes. Actually, yes. 1000% yes. I think it comes back to that. It's like you don't realize that you are hurting yourself, you are wasting your own time, because that mindset can be so unhealthy to a certain, like, insanely unhealthy. I think there's a lot of people who, um, like, for example, you're in like like a very long term relationship with a guy, for instance, and he's like, you know that you want to get married at some point. You have discussed this, and it's been like maybe 10 years at this point, and he hasn't asked you about this, so it's not even something, you don't see any signs of that, right? Now, at that point, you've been sticking it out. I feel like let's give ourselves time frames of like, how long am I willing to stick it out, should be the question. Instead of being like, no, I should just stick it out a little bit longer. It's like boundaries, self-awareness, you know? Understand yourself as a person, understand your boundaries, and set them with people around you. Communicate. Communication is not just like, I don't like that. You need to stop doing that. No. Boundaries. You need to set forth like, this is the stuff, like, this is not where you cross me. This is where we're not gonna, this is not even up for conversation at this point. There's a no. Um, so that whole mindset of like discipline should not be playing in that court at all. At all.
I just
Like,
want
it's
to
not
say,
even up
Lucky,
for conversation.
you're gonna be a fabulous mom. Like, I can already sense that comes. How you drew the line was so crystal clear. I wouldn't wanna
Cross you.
cross your lines.
No, because as you were speaking, I actually thought about it. Like, I feel like there are people who are sitting in certain situations for years and years and waiting for things to change, or they know for a fact that this person is hurting them verbally, and they are sticking it through because we've been through this for 10 years. And I'm not just saying like in romantic relationships. There are people who have toxic friends. They've been friends since they were in kindergarten, and they are staying with that friend even when that friend is a bad friend, like everyone can see it. But it's like, no, like we grew up since we were in nappies, guys, since we were in nappies. And it's like, is that like almost as if, is that the only reason why we should be in relationships? And even with this love like thing, I'm gonna be so honest, like I know we discussed this, but I'm having a little bit of turmoil in me right now as we speak, and I want to be honest because you did say we are honest on this podcast. Is that like, when Kuto said, I don't have a problem with, you can love someone and not like them, and then there's a relationship. But my head can't fathom you can like someone and not love them and be in a relationship with them. Like, in my head, that doesn't work. You need love. Like, it's like come and go, but like I need to love you to be in a relationship with you. If I like you and I love you, that's like the perfect fix. Yeah. Okay, sorry guys,
No,
that
but
was just a mental.
I think I definitely agree, and that's why I say it does happen where you find people that they love someone but they don't like them, or they like someone but they don't love them. Though having both is the best formula, because you genuinely get along with that person, but as well as you love that person as a being. And like Oratile mentioned with the line, it's even easier when it comes to conversating, communicating with that person because you get along with them. It's more than just getting along, it's you love this person. So you are willing to find a way to make it work. Though if you don't love someone and you just like them, well, it's gonna be a bit hard, in the long run, keeping that relationship steady, keeping that relationship healthy. Yet when you have that combo, winner winner chicken dinner, and no laughing this.
I want to say on
Okay.
Taylor's point on like liking someone but not loving them, because I feel love is sometimes built on like history, you know. So I understand like why that can be so like a little jarring in your brain, because it's like you expect not expect but just like, for me to be in that kind of relationship with you, I need to really love you. But I believe it is possible to like someone and not love them immediately, you know, especially with because what you're given like this like fantasy that love is all about like immediately when you meet somebody you should like immediately be in love with them, and it's not like that. It's not like that, because love is a practice. You have to practice love. It's everyday effort. It's built on like foundations that do not appear out of nowhere, you know. So it's something that you need to work on for a long time to even keep it standing. You need to keep, But you I think in the beginning, a lot of relationships, I feel it starts with just purely liking. A lot of relationships start with just like you like the person. You want to get to know them. You want to spend time with them. That's when love starts coming. I don't think love just appears in the beginning of a relationship, especially romantic relationship and friendships as well. With family, because you kind of, I think with family it's more obligated love. But then as you grow older, that's when you start sort of differentiating instead of like separating. Like, okay, this is I love you because of the history we have, and then there's the I like you because of your energy, the person that you are, and how you contribute into my life, and I contribute, vice versa. But yeah. Wait, I want to ask a question. Oh, you want to say
Oh
something? No, you can say something.
no, no! I see now. Time was kind of up. I don't think we have time for
Oh,
another discussion
you don't have
unless you
time
have
for
a really
it.
good
With another podcast. The
question.
next episode is gonna be fire. As you
No,
guys
I
can
think
hear, we're
that's
already so
okay
tired.
because I think a lot of the questions that we have, I think it's stuff that we already pointed out. I swear, like everything.
Yeah, we did
kind
kind
of
of like go
touch
through
on
it.
it like a
We
little bit of
touched
it.
everything.
Yeah. So
No,
it's
I'm
good.
sorry. Okay, well, guys, that is unfortunately the time that we have. We were getting fired up. I can see we forgot the time, but that is the time that we have. I just want to thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, send comment. Guys, please, we actually want to hear what you guys think. What is your opinion, guys? Or maybe you think Kuta is talking too much. Tell us. No, I'm joking. Kuta's not joking. But yes, send this podcast to incredible people in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in on another episode of Let's Talk About It. Until next time.